Chapter 29, Part 2. 720-degree flip teleport not only has extremely high requirements for the person who controls the mecha, but also has extremely high requirements for the mecha energy. The purity of the energy liquid is related to the fluency and explosiveness of the mecha's movements. Even a tiny impurity or an instant lack of energy supply will be infinitely amplified at this time, causing the mecha's movement to pause for 0.1 milliseconds or offset, causing the action to fail. However, to Ning Yuchin's surprise, his mecha completed the Super S-level difficult action at an unreadable speed in the air, and then landed steadily. The whole action is like flowing clouds and flowing water, clean and neat. It is perfect. Ning Yuchin was stunned for a moment, and then quickly took out the energy box placed in the spare groove and exchanged it with the main control cabin. He smiled as he jumped off the mech. Perhaps he should thank his father for finding the treasure that has not yet been discovered. The next day, he came to Shanghai Internet Auction House early and waited for the auction items to be put on the shelves. Unfortunately, this time there was no level 4 energy box that was sold yesterday, only level 3 energy box, and it was not the best. However, after he glanced at the clear liquid without impurities in the silver box, he immediately recognized that it was from the hands of one person. Without the slightest hesitation, Ning Yuchin swept away the 3 third-level energy boxes at a high price, hoping that the energy liquid this time could also bring him a surprise. These 3 third-level energy liquids were photographed away in less than a minute after they were put on the shelves, which attracted the attention of many people who came around curiously. When they saw the final auction price, many people were surprised. These 3-level energy boxes actually sold for a high price of 100,000 star coins, which is twice the standard price. So the next 10 secondary energy boxes were bought by some people who were curious or really in need of energy boxes, which were almost the first to sell out among all the lots. In the evening, Lu Meng and Huang Jiao, the person in charge, took stock of today's income. The total income of more than 100 items was 1.3 million, of which the master's energy liquid income was 410,000, accounting for nearly 1/3 of the total amount. The two looked at each other. No wonder the top 3 stores had to spend a lot of money to have an intermediate energy engineer join. This is indeed a great increase in revenue, and it can attract a lot of popularity. At the same time, Lu Guang, the head of the Carter Auction House, which ranks 3rd in the online auction house, has been monitoring the data of competitors. He found that in the past 2 days, energy liquids of level 3 and above have been auctioned at Shanghai Auction House, especially at unimaginably high prices, which is not a good thing for him. Could it be that Shanghai Auction House has hired a senior energy engineer? No, impossible. Senior energy engineers are all distinguished, and they are often only employed by large offline auction houses. Where can they come to such a place? But can an intermediate energy engineer have such a high spiritual power? Today, he sent someone to observe it, and he actually launched 13 energy boxes at once, and all of them were of high grade or above. This is definitely not something that an average mid-level energy engineer can do. Thinking about the 2 mid-level energy masters he hired, who could only provide a dozen or so third-level energy boxes or 5 fourth-level energy boxes each month, and they had to offer them in a good voice, he couldn't help but feel a little jealous. Who is this energy engineer, and why can't he come to their Carter auction house? He can give the other party higher treatment. The other 2 shops in the top 3 on the internet also thought the same, so they began to search for information about this mysterious energy master. Bai Jing didn't know anything about all this, so he went to Gu's gambling stone shop early in the morning to select the wool for the competition in advance, preparing to participate in the stone gambling battle tomorrow or the day after. There are dozens of stone gamblers who also came to choose wool materials. Along the way, Bai Jing could feel their incomparably hot eyes, and he couldn't help frowning slightly. What happened to these people? He didn't know that after the last stone gambling battle, the number of fans of Gu Yun had reached 5 million at a rocket-like speed, which was no less than that of some well-known second-level stone gambling masters. What's more, his action of catching jadeite is chic and elegant, coupled with his delicate face. He really explained the beauty and handsomeness to the extreme. Even passers-by will pay attention to it involuntarily. After a complicated inspection, Bai Jing looked at the crowd behind him and walked into the C-grade wool area. The price of a single wool in the C-grade wool area is 60,000 to 100,000. Generally, stone gamblers who do not have much confidence in themselves will not choose such a high price, but will choose the D area with a relatively low price. Sure enough, there were far fewer people in the C-level wool material area than in the D-level area. There were only about a dozen people, and half of them were third-level stone gamblers with the word 3 on their chests. This scene made by Jing a little relieved. He was still not used to being watched eagerly by so many people. The wool in the C-grade wool area also has 3 grades of 6W, 8W, and 10W, which AW is equivalent to 10,000. Bai Jing chose the price of 6W. The performance of these wool materials is good, and the probability of jadeite should be higher. So this time, he plans to choose a piece of wool that has risen sharply, 2 pieces of wool that are bet but have jade, and 2 pieces of wool that have completely collapsed. The worsted wool is best grown with water at the level of oily green, just the small one. Bai Jing thought that the energy solution extracted from the leaf green glutinous seed last time was sold for a high price of 100,000 star coins. It is convenient for him to extract the intermediate energy liquid. After observing several pieces in a row along the stone platform, Bai Jing found a piece of white sand leather wool that performed well. This piece of wool skin is delicate, about the size of a football, and there are 2 pine flowers on the surface that are shaped like brush strokes. When he was about to penetrate his perception, he found that the perception was divided into 2 strands like mental power. One penetrated into this piece of white sand fur, and the other fawned around him, poking it from time to time. Poke his finger. Bai Jing. Can perception also be improved with the help of energy fluids? Still so, humanized? Bai Jing intends to test it. He probed another sense of perception into the yellow sand skin wool next to him, and he could indeed feel the weak activity inside, and at the same time, the white sand skin wool could also sense it. Moreover, now his sensing speed is much faster than before, and almost as soon as he enters the leather shell, he can immediately know the activity level and distribution range of the jade inside. In this way, time can be greatly saved. Next, Bai Jing devoted all his energy to the selection of wool materials. He checked nearly 200 pieces of wool materials in more than 2 hours, and saw almost 1/3 of the wool materials priced at 6W star coins. Then, out of the nearly 200 pieces of wool, the 20 pieces that I personally think are the best performers are selected and detected with perception. This time, he did not choose the 15 pieces that reached the limit of power, but chose a few more pieces in order to see if the upgraded perception has improved the amount of wool. The 2 senses detected 15 pieces of wool at a very fast speed, plus the white sand skin and yellow sand skin just now. A total of 17 pieces were detected, which was 2 more than the previous perception limit. The wool at the back does not need to continue to probe, because his perception is wrapped around his arm, and he even poked his finger with the tip. Bai Jing. Can perception still be like this? But this is also good, to avoid his dizziness. Among the 17 pieces of wool that had just been sensed, there were 5 jadeite pieces. The most active piece of wool was the white sand skin, but it did not reach the ice level, and at most only water or waxy. However, 2 of the other 4 are still active. One of the pieces should be of the oily green seed, and the other piece is about the level of the fine bean seed, and it is only the size of a baby's fist, which can be used as the material for the energy fluid. Bai Jing put these 3 pieces of selected wool into the shopping cart and randomly selected 2 pieces that were bound to collapse. After paying 300,000 star coins, he left Gu's stone gambling shop. After returning home, he just landed on the Xinguang Mall when he received news from Lu Ming, Master, all your energy fluids have been sold, and the 3rd-level energy liquid also sold for a high price. Okay, got it. Lu Ming, Master, do you still have energy liquid for consignment tomorrow? The cat excitedly rubs his hands and cleans his watch. JPG. Dubai. Will be mailed in the evening. Lu Ming. All right, Master. Bai Jing received 390,000 star coins from the auction of 13 energy boxes yesterday after deducting the handling fee. Except for the 20,000 star coins to buy the bean seed jade, there is almost no cost. 10 second-level energy boxes sold a total of 110,000 star coins, and 3 third-level energy boxes sold 300,000 star coins. It seems that the third-level energy box is more profitable, and there are relatively few impurities, so it is more convenient for him to extract. Bai Jing didn't have jade in his hand at present. He remembered the previous discount and browsed it at Shanghai Auction House. There are various kinds of goods in it, and half of them have been auctioned off. It can be seen that the appraiser Lu Ming's eyes are still very vicious. Among the more than 100 lots, there are nearly 20 pieces of jadeite, all of which are not very big. The better ones are of the oily green class, and the worse ones are mostly white ground greens and dry greens. Bai Jing selected 2 pieces of oil green jadeite of uniform color, one weighing 1.4 kilograms and the other weighing 2.0 kilograms. After a 10% discount, a total of 250,000 star coins were spent. Based on the extraction of 4 pieces of energy liquid per kilogram of jade, these 2 pieces of jade can extract 14 pieces of energy liquid, which is enough for him to be busy these days. At the same time, he ordered 100 silver boxes online, and they were placed on the table in rows, which was quite spectacular. After Bai Jing made dinner, he came to the second bedroom and planned to extract energy fluid. The thin line of spiritual power and perception are each divided into 2 strands entangled with each other. One extracts and the other removes impurities, and the division of labor is clear. 2 hours later, Bai Jing, who had extracted 4 energy liquids, felt exhausted. This time, he didn't need to put his fingertips into the energy box. Seeing that he didn't object, the 2 thin lines automatically extended along the edge. After a minute, all the liquid in the energy box was absorbed, leaving only a layer of gray impurities. The thin golden thread stretched out from the box, wiped it on the paper next to it, and wrapped his finger affectionately, rubbed it in a pleasing manner, and burped, looking very happy. By the time he finished extracting the 1.4 kilograms piece, it was too late. There were 6 silver boxes filled with energy liquid on the table, and one of them was empty after he absorbed the energy liquid. For the sake of convenience, Bai Jing spent 200,000 stars to buy the detector in the mall. He put the 5 boxes containing the energy liquid into the detector, which showed that the purity was 39.65%, which was the best of the third-level energy liquid. After sending the message to Lu Ming, Bai Jing quickly sent the 5 energy boxes out. When I was about to rest, I suddenly received several messages from the internet. Carter Auction House. Dear Energy Engineer, I am the person in charge of the third-ranked Carter Auction House. I wonder if you are willing to cooperate with our auction house. Yuguang Auction House. Hello, I am the person in charge of the second-ranked Yuguang Auction House. If you cooperate with us, we will waive the handling fee and give you other discounts. Do you want to? Tianshu Auction House. Hello, I am the person in charge of the number 1 Tianshu Auction House. No matter what kind of conditions you put forward, we can accept it. I wonder if you intend to cooperate with us.